I never deny. Yeah, I told you I would never fold, even in the cold. I never lose my hope, back against the ropes. The sun's flower from the concrete is where I rose. It's just perspective, ain't no location for highs and lows. I can't believe the lie no more, the truth is in my soul. Holy Spirit, hold my pen, I'm writing with a ghost. The war's on, my hands are up, I'm fighting on 10 toes. I ain't come this far, fight this hard to make myself known. And I can't switch sides no more, the focus in the road, yeah. And I'm trying to eat, yeah. My plate garnished with goals. I keep my faith day out and keep subscribing to.
All right, evening. Let's see, we'll wait. Smoke weed. What's up, buddy? What's happening? Oh no, I left my cigarettes. That's okay. I'll go grab them. And we'll wait for a couple more people to jump in. Exciting. Where's that guy? It's just a blank screen. Liv, what's going on? We got 4 in here. How's everybody doing tonight? 4. Listen, I broadcast earlier so that I didn't catch people out late. Paul, Remy, how's it going? What are we up to? 11 now. All right. 12. Keeps it going. How's everybody doing tonight? I was going to run through a bit of information. Mark, what's happening? Now, the EMS broadcast stuff. So the stories came out about the EMS broadcast. To the best of my knowledge, they came out on the 22nd of April. And everybody kind of had some excerpts and things like that. Well, I dug around for the longest time, and I couldn't find the actual broadcast. I couldn't find any archived copies or anything, but somehow everybody got a hold of this stuff, and in the media, and I don't know where they got it from. Anyway, great minds. Sister C. This is why it's really good to work together, because lo and behold, Ozzy found them. And she found them last night, yesterday, night before, something like that. So there's a channel. I'm going to put the link in the channel so you guys can all go and have a listen. Don't know if it's listed. Let's see here. 17 people watching. African Queen versus Rooster. The Rooster. I don't know what Slippin' Smoking. That's a pretty crazy title. Let's see here. Now it would be over here and here. And we'll pause it. And I'll drop the link in so that everybody knows. Beth, what's happening? Silver. Linda. Okay, so there's the link. There's the link to the video. I'll bring it up on screen right now. Oh, wait, sorry. I have to do the share screen thing, right? There we go. Okay, so this is the video. Nova Scotia EMS radio scanner, April 18th and 19th. That's a bit of a misnomer. It isn't the 18th. Is not on there. What is on there is the 19th. I believe it starts about 6 a.m. There's not really timestamps in these, so it makes it difficult. And as you can obviously see, the video is only, an hour and 23 minutes long. So it's heavily clipped. But there is some gold in there. I don't know who put this out. If we look at the channel, it's from this EMS scanner channel. There's only 7 subscribers. I suspect after this broadcast, there's going to be a few more than 7. And there's only the one video. And we get no information on anything when the channel was made, who about it, who's the subscribers, playlists, anything. They've kept everything on the QT, but this was put out on the same day, the exact same day as this stuff was issued in the media. So maybe this was where they got some of the stuff. There's stuff in the media I know that is missing, but what is here is some really interesting stuff, which I wanted to run through and kind of talk about a few other things. So don't know what's living smoking either, but I want some. Okay. Now why is this so small print? Like, I'm blind as it is, so can we just have it a little bit bigger for everybody? Damn computers. Okay. So what I wanted to do, let's see here, the easiest way to do this is I will get this. No, I don't. Can I move this? Thank you. So I'm going to lose your comments here for a minute, because I want to get to the timestamps. Okay, so at 32:49, we get a discussion about an address, 14143 Highway 4, 32 minutes. So this was an awesome find by Ozzy. She really digs away. Everybody's always working so hard. It's great. Okay, so let's take it there, and then we'll do this. Please let me know if the audio is okay. I'll try and see. Hey, Little Miss So, what's happening?
Going there, code 2 for an obvious. Just go to fast, please. 98. Several guys confirming your staging at Highway 704 and number 4, please.
Oh, where is it? It must be a little bit before that.
Yeah, we're going to stage exit 104 and Highway 4. 10-4.
32.
Okay.
Let's try that.
Go ahead, clear. Medic 98, copy, comfortable. Medic 90. 90, go ahead. We close up, go through Mountain Road there. Medic 98, copy, com. 98. 98, 14143 Highway 4, Wentworth, going there, code 2 for an obvious.
Code 2 for an obvious. Anybody who's in chat or whatever, and you happen to know EMS codes or whatever, that would be great if you can let me know, or over on the docs cord. Of course, please feel free to join over there, and the information is below. Contact information for anything that you want to leave confidential with any of us. Please do, because we need all the help that we can get here. But I think a couple of the things you're going to find in here are really, really interesting. Okay, so let's go forward to 49:15. This is the first discussion of the Shube / Milford. This is where hopefully you'll pick up on what I'm laying down. Let's go to 49:15.
There's police vehicles there, we just wanted to bring it to your attention. Okay, copy. Our last known thing is close to Halifax, off the 102 near Milford. Can you carry on that way?
Okay, so something's happening in Milford, but it's something major. Like, you have to think also, right? Of course, they're happy birthday. Sorry, I missed that. I had this screen blocked up there. Happy birthday. Little Miss So, birthday. I'm not going to ask you how old you are because that's rude. Seems like the it's weird because the time on this video is not keeping pace with the time marks that I had earlier. So let's just go back a little bit more then. Why don't we start here?
Go ahead. How much? Thank you.
Oh, you're young. Youngin'.
And it's Patrol 4, 60, copy. Sure, copy, go ahead. We're still overhead of vehicle fire at the exit on Highway 2. It's actually looks like might be a police car involved. There's other police vehicles there. We just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Okay, so here we have mention of, you have to follow the timeline a little bit. So here we have the first mention of the Shube crash and the 2 police cars with the EMS. Okay, now we're going to move forward a little bit.
Okay, copy. Our last known screening is close to Halifax, off the 102 near Milford. Can you carry on that way?
Something's happening now down in Milford also. Now, if we remember, there's nothing technically that happens in Milford unless you buy the warrant, right? And in the warrant, we've got the exit 9 in Milford Station, but that's kind of pretty close to Milford. But we don't have any other. Gina Goulet is not in the Milford area. She's just south of Shube. So why are they talking about this Milford? But it gets far more serious.
Radio, Patrol 4. Okay, I got it. I think we're just landing on Howard Field here, just a little bit west of Milford, just for a minute. We'll give you a call there, Mark.
Okay. Now, I'll throw these disclaimers out here. It's very apparent listening to these calls. They're talking in other channels. They're also using tablets. They don't want to say too much over the air, so they'll say periodically things like, refer to the tablet. Sounds like somebody may have seen Wortman even, and they say, look at the picture on the tablet, refer to the tablet. So, but what did this man just say here? He is the air medevac, the helicopter, and he's flying and he's landing in a field in Milford, just west of Milford. We'll listen to that again. Why is he down in Milford in a helicopter? What's happening down in Milford? Nothing's happening in Milford, right?
Can you carry on that way? Yeah, Roger. We'll let it know. Radio, Patrol 4. Okay, I got it. I think we're just landing on Howard Field here, just a little bit west of Milford, just for a minute. We'll give you a call there, Mark.
Okay.
You're ready, clear.
So you have to think of the series of events. We've got Shube already mentioned, right? Now somebody, and then they discussed something down in Milford, and now we have a helicopter down in Milford in a field that's landed in a field, right?
Medic 110, I'll get you mobile for an incoming call, Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East, code 1.
Okay, so another Unit 110, the bus, the EMS bus 110, is now going to Shube. It's at Shube, all right? Moving along.
110, you're going to be heading code 1, heading to Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East. Could you have a look at your tablet there for details?
See, they don't want to talk about
Alright.
Yes.
Rambo.
Thank you.
have 2 hours to land fuel. We'll talk to you at 30.
Okay. Very important. Remember how the helicopter just landed in Milford? Of course, I told you it's clipped, right? But the order. The Milford helicopter now has taken off, and it has 2 on board. And it's leaving for Elmsdale. Who's on board? Two people. 2 victims. Of what? Right? Moving along.
Copy, thank you. You're ready, clear.
Okay, 4-4.
I'm currently treating a member in the back of an ambulance. So I can go out to the hospital.
Okay. So now we have a member. It isn't Unit 110. Let's back that up a little bit. Let's go about there. A member. So a member, of course, is probably going to be an RCMP member, right? Member.
Thank you.
Sugar Radio, 4-4.
Control code, go ahead.
Second Airborne again, Milford area, 2 on board. Southbound towards Elmsdale. We have 2 hours to land fuel. We'll talk to you at 30.
2 hours fuel.
Copy, thank you. You're ready, clear.
Okay, 4-4.
I'm currently treating a member in the back of an ambulance. So I can go out to the hospital. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have 2 people down in Milford getting medevaced, and we also have some units on Shub scene, and now referring to that we have a member. I believe actually I did get the number of that for some reason, but I can't decipher it this time. But the number of the EMS bus, and I don't think it was 110, but has the member on board. So we now have 3, right? And Gina Goulet is not in the scene at this point in time, as best as we know. Gina Goulet doesn't even come into the scene until later, because they quote, found, I don't remember when they disclosed Gina Goulet was dead. I think it was the next day, maybe the day after. I'm not too sure. Oh, Rage is in here. Okay, good. Rage may be joining me, which is awesome. Okay, send sensitive information. Thank you. On the tablet. Okay, so there's a lot of tablet references in this broadcast. So let's continue. So, but keeping in mind, 2 people in Milford where we have no mention in any of the warrants other than Exit 9, right? But in Exit 9, they were telling us in the press conference what was the deal with Morrison, right? Morrison drove himself. He drove away and he drove himself to the hospital or something ridiculous. They don't say that in this warrant that I have in my hand right now. I'm not sure if they do refer ever in the warrants, which are going to be the most truthful pieces of information that we're going to get. But they don't refer to it in this warrant that he drove himself. But in the press conferences, they do talk about that, right? That he drove himself, he got shot, it was a drive-by in his car, he got shot in his car, and he drove himself to the hospital. But here we have somebody, a member in an EMS bus. We don't know where. I'm presuming in Shub. And we have 2 people in Milford getting medevaced. Okay, let's continue.
12.
Go ahead, 112.
As of right now, they permanently locked us in the hospital. Can you get your supervisor to call the security at the hospital and let them know?
10-4, stand by, guys.
Copy. RCMP commands for 1240, copy.
Okay, I don't know what Command 4 is, but that's directed towards the RCMP, which is interesting. Oh, actually, Command 4, that's the helicopter. That's the helicopter.
Alright, 122. Can you be on top for a second? Sure.
Okay, this is gold. I've heard of it referred to before in some, Facebook posts or stuff, or some stuff in the Discord. I've asked people's opinion on it. Where did you find this? And nobody has been able to answer me, but people seem to know about it. But here it is. And listen.
You're just about to transport the officer, but his vehicle is currently here unlocked, and he has left a gun in the woods. I'm curious if you can get a hold of anyone to come manage that.
Okay, excuse me? Excuse me? We are about to transport the officer to the hospital. He has left his car unlocked. His car, RCMP Cruiser, and he's left his gun in the woods. What are they talking about here? And I would be curious, with your guys' great, brilliant minds, what the hell is going on? I'd heard about the gun in the forest. I never heard verification until now with this. But we have 2 cars on fire. We have some buses responding to that. There's a member in the back of the bus. Then we have the command helicopter taking off from, where was he? He was in Milford with 2 bodies, 2 people, presumably alive, and yet we have no reference to anything in either from the RCMP in any of the press conferences or in the warrants, except for possibly Morrison, but that's one person. Who's 2? And then we have reference to the car being unlocked, member's car, who is in another ambulance, or in that ambulance, and his car is unlocked, and he's left his gun in the woods. The RCMP told us, so this is clearly Morrison. He left his car, or presumably, let's go with that. Presumably, given the evidence that we have, that Morrison drove himself to the hospital. He was in his car and he was shot. Now we have a car which is abandoned, a member that's getting transported in an ambulance, and a gun in the woods, meaning that this officer would have been running around in the woods with the gun. Who is that? Here's Ozzy, hats off, ma'am. She found this, right? I haven't even listened through this the whole way through, but as soon as I started to hear about and placing things, that we have a medevac helicopter down in Milford with 2 bodies, 2 victims. We have ambulance with member, and we have a car that's been abandoned, male member, and a car that's been abandoned that there's a gun in the woods. And could somebody please go and pick it up? We had the picture, of course, and Dawn pointed that out fairly early on. Let's see. Of the Morrison with the quote, he calls it a bush face. I'd never heard that term. I'd run around the bush and cut up my face a lot, but I'd never heard of bush face. And he referred to this as bush face. Oh, that's a fucking bollocks photo, isn't it? What do we have here? We have Morrison with wounds to his face. Okay? Now, is Morrison running around somewhere in the woods somewhere, and he's dropped his gun, and he's now in the back of an ambulance. Did the unlocked car have a push bar? I don't think they're going to tell us that over the EMS. But I mean, this is bombshell shit here. Because who are the two people? And why is Morrison, who drove himself, suddenly in the back of an ambulance with his gun off in the woods? If in fact that's even Morrison. And who's the other person? Because Weber burns up in the back of the car. Okay? That's what the RCMP has told the family. And I have that on good authority from two independent sources who are clearly in the know with the family. And that was what they were told. They said to the family, listen, we weren't able to identify him right away because he burned up in the back of the car. And this is why his name came out later, right? Joey Weber and the Silver Tracker, which is now the Silver Explorer, the Silver Tracker, which is driving around for 18 minutes when it only drove 1.8 kilometers. It's in Brookfield when it only went south of Shube 1.8 kilometers. It's in Brookfield, it's in Milford. The Silver Tracker for 18 minutes. I don't know, and it's confirmed. I don't know who the fuck that is. Because at that point in time, that would be Wortman, and he's driving around in the cruiser, right? And the second tweet, he's almost dead, if not dead, at that point. That's 11:24 that they're saying, oh, confirmed he's in the Silver Tracker, and I think it's in Brookfield at that point. So this is a gigantic clusterfuck of, people, victims, guns in the woods, vehicles in two different places, two different vehicles at the same time, victims that Wortman, who's almost dead, Wortman, who's been assassinated. Finally, people are getting that one. Hey, Slippin', what's going on, buddy? Wortman was assassinated, and I finally saw somebody get that today, and somebody put a post, I think it was Ozzy actually, who reposted somebody else's thing, and I'm like, thank you, because that is exactly what happened to Wortman, or the person at the Big Stop. Whoever that was fucking assassinated, murdered by the RCMP. They opened fire on him, they drove up, boom, killed him in his car. That's it. And then we have the media show. And they're not even fucking you around about it at all. They say to you, listen, it was one tactical unit, they responded, they didn't respond, they just drove up to get gas, and then they saw that it was Wortman, jumped out and shot him. Well, you can't even see him from the height difference. He's over here in the driver's side, not the passenger side of the pumps, and they're driving a Yukon. Line of sight doesn't even line up. They wouldn't be able to see, right? I've talked about that before. So how in the fuck are they pulling up to the pumps? Adrian's absolutely spot on right that they assassinated this man. I suspect he probably phoned, as Adrian said, one of his friends and said, listen, one of his cop buddies, I'm down here at the Enfield, and whatever he is to the RCMP, I'm pretty certain that he was a police officer. Whatever he is to the RCMP, listen, come get me out of this shit. I'm in the shit here now. Okay, no problem. We'll be down there right away. We'll be there in the bronze SUV. We'll pull up beside the pump. Wham! Boom! Dead. There you go. But now you got bodies, or victims' bodies, or not victims' bodies. Why do I keep saying that? Injured people getting medevaced out of Milford, and you have a gun in the woods. You have Morrison's car, which is abandoned. You have a male member in the back of a male member in the back of the EMS vehicle. Who, if you guys can start to stick this stuff together, for me and make a little bit of sense. I've been trying to muddle my way through it a little bit. I can't, to be honest with you. I can't, because the facts don't line up at all. I don't know who that is in Milford that they're referring to. 2 people. 2. Is this Morrison and Weber? I have no idea. Is it the only one that's ever referred to in the Milford area, period, is Morrison in the warrant, near exit 9, near the EHS station on Highway 2. That is Milford station. Oh, are you off? Are you off, little Miss So, and then you have the media staging of his fucking assassination. Because think about it. 1 tactical unit, and you have, what do you see when you watch that video of them with their guns? And you have a blue guy in there, and then the blue guy is not in there, and then he's one guy standing on the door, the door ledge, and then in the next one they're all sitting over the hood. That's all fucking media poses, man. That he's dead. He's been dead for a while, because you have all the media there, and you have all these RCMP cruisers and fucking TAC units and dogs and all this bullshit. When they tell you in the press conference, 1 tactical unit, 2 members, got out and shot him. So all of what we saw was a total media show. That's all it was. Because right now, if you think, oh yeah, the gas station down the street, there's not fucking a whole crowd of media down there, and there's also not a whole crowd of police just sitting around doing nothing. They want you to believe that they just stopped for gas. And, oh yeah, we just stopped for gas. I'm sure that they have access to their own fucking gas, tanks, just like, we do at the ranch or whatever. We got our own fucking fuel. Buy it in bulk, whatever, you get it in a bit of discount. And they're killing him in Halifax Regional Authority area. That's Halifax Regional Police. And remember, the one guy who came forward, the quote, Halifax Regional Deep Throat guy. Well, it wasn't a deep throat. There is a deep throat who said, keep pushing, because you're going to blow the lid off this. One thing in here is just going to absolutely destroy it. But frankly, I think that is the RCMP killing their own member, and or the assassination of Mr. Wortman, which is murder. And frankly, you can't murder people. I don't care if you're in the police, and I don't care if the man is a total dirtbag. You can't jump out unannounced and shoot somebody for no reason. Like, holy Christ, we'd have people dying all over the place. Sound like Onslow a little bit? Like a little bit? Unannounced? So I'd like to hear your guys' theories on that stuff. I haven't completed listening to the rest of this tape, so we can play it way through a little bit more. Yeah, great find. It's fucking awesome, man. She's like, oh, you can take credit for it. I'm like, are you out of your mind? You did such an amazing job. She digs around just like all you guys do. But now I want to put the thinking minds together. Who are the 2 bodies in Milford in the helicopter getting medevaced? I'm going to land in a farmer's field just to the west of Milford for a moment. Oh yeah, I'm taking off now. I have 2 on board. Huh? 2 who? You just decide to land in a field and just pick up 2 people randomly? Like they're just standing there, like the media's just sitting at the the fucking gas station. Like there's all these cops just sitting at your local gas station for no reason. Oh yeah. Oh, look, I need some gas. I'm going to stop. Oh, look, there's a mass murderer. I'm just going to hop out. I'm just going to shoot him through his windshield. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And the discussion, they welfare checked him. This stuff, we're getting fed loads every which way from Sunday. The girlfriend, big problem too. So on Saturday, I know that Wortman was in New Brunswick with the girlfriend. They were at a person's place. I know whose place it is. They were over there. They were having lunch and shit. And then she gets a phone call and they're like, oh, we got to leave right now. And then next thing you know, we have all hell breaking loose. And you don't have CIs. This is why, please stay away. Stay very far away from the terms that they're liking. They want you to use those terms. Police, what is it? Agent of the police or civilian agent of the police, or they call it something else. CI. No, stay very far away from that. I've spoken to a couple of CIs. They have no fucking way that they can access either the Brinks facility or that kind of cash. In fact, I was speaking with somebody who is with a CI just the other night. And I said to them, they were on speakerphone, I said, you better ask for a fucking huge raise, man. $475,000. And they're like, no, we don't do that. This looks to me and reeks of a Mr. Big operation. It was an undercover operation. Probably Wortman was involved with that. I think we have a lot of drug stuff going on. And then we have on top of that all this dishonesty, which of course they're allowed to do. But you see, if we find out that this is a cop because he had a badge, Halifax Regional Police, somebody asked that today in the in the chat, in the Discord. It was a Halifax Regional Police badge, and he had a Halifax Regional Police uniform and multiple, not one, but multiple RCMP uniforms, including the big yellow puffy, gravel road cop with the reflective police stuff all over it. Jacket. Why is he getting left alone by the cops? Repeated calls. And one singular person would respond. It sounds like it, right? It doesn't sound like it. That's what Mr. Superintendent Campbell says. There was one member, we're looking into the one member who responded several times to Wortman. Let's see find that quote too. Well, be careful, because there's going to be a lot of disinformation out there. So you got to be careful, because they're going to smurf and they're going to disinformation. And I've seen the disinformation already starting from them. So we need to be very discerning about what they say, right? 2 paramedics, could be 2 paramedics, but he said, I have 2 on board. Why is he landing in a farmer's field? I don't know. That still doesn't answer the gun off in the woods, the bush face, the fucking... No. The car that's abandoned, unlocked, when he drove himself to the hospital, or drove himself to the EHS, or whatever the hell it was. Because if you're getting shot in your car, I'm not sure why you're running around dropping guns in the woods. What's that about? Let's listen to the clip. Why is it like this? That's not what I wanted. Pinned down. Bollocks. All right, here we go.
another RCMP officer that we know had stopped into the gunman's residence on several occasions.
Sorry? So we have one particular officer stopping in multiple times. They're told exactly where the weapons are. In the chimney flue, 200 Portapique Beach Drive. Truro knew about it. Amherst knew about it. The Nova Scotia intelligence, police intelligence community all knew about it. The shredder goes crazy over at the RCMP. They happen to lose it. And we have verification with things like such as the RCMP saying, well, no, we don't lie. First of all, Mr. Campbell lied. He's being sued. His department is being sued. The RCMP is being sued because of a statement that he said, which was a lie, right? Because he said, oh, no, nobody got pulled over. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. Yes, Beaton had been waiting at the side of the road. However, O'Brien was not. And O'Brien even said on the phone to her coworker who heard it all go down, bang, 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 that's Beaton. And she's like, I'm hearing gunshots. And Mrs. O'Brien says, don't worry about it. The RCMP are here. Who is she referring to? Is she talking about the pizza guy on a bicycle? No, she's talking about Wortman in his fucking goddamn cruiser. And he comes out of the cruiser, and the next thing that she hears is screaming. And that's it. Radio silence. Because she's dead. So that was a lie when he said that. They're allowed to lie. This has come out even in their own Colchester County, which is a total fucking utter disaster, aside from everywhere else the RCMP seem to operate. But in this particular county, where they're saying, no, we don't lie, we don't do any of that. Well, what happened about the case of the lady who said that the lady who was murdered? And she said that the RCMP were saying that she was crazy and all this other stuff. And they say, no, we never said that. We never said anything disparaging about this woman at all. Well, it came out in court, actually, that they had lied. And yes, there was proof, documentation proof from her and from other people that they had lied. So this is the kind of police department that we're dealing with here. Hi, Tracy. How's it going? And so, yes, we know about the guy running away. Yep. We never got that one figured out. Perhaps either, I don't know if, let me see here. Okay. Why don't we haven't heard from Mr. Kage in a long time, and he happens to be around. So let's see. I hope that wasn't him that phoned. And I'd like to get Aussie's input too here at some point if she's around, which she is. Because she's the one who found it. So hats off to her. Awesome. Wicked job.
Hello?
Hello. Hello? Yep.
You there?
Yep.
Okay, we're on. Hey, everybody. Okay, so, yeah, I listened to that thing a couple times.
Oh, sorry.
There's quite the break.
Can I just stop for 1 second? Because I just want to answer Mr. Moneypenny. The car is in the woods because the car was left in gear. And the statement was, the RCMP are here. Don't worry, the RCMP are here. I don't think they're talking about the pizza guy on a bicycle. Just saying. And the reason that the car was in the woods was because it had rolled off the road as it was in gear. I'm sure as she got shot or something that didn't work out too well. So she drove the car went off the road. And then they returned it. Yeah. Anyways, in not good shape. So, sorry. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's yeah. So that you've been able to determine that was her vehicle that was returned to the family with body parts.
I'll be totally honest with you. I do have contact with Miss O'Brien, and she has asked for our help, but in the same token, she doesn't volunteer a lot. And I just say to her, listen, I totally respect where you're coming from. I don't want to really ask you any questions. And, you know, if she wants to volunteer information, awesome. If she doesn't, that's totally up to her. I'm not, you know, who like, it just must be absolutely ungodly what she's going through. So,
Yeah.
you know, I do hope that, you know, maybe she might share some things with us, but see you later, Slippin'. See you, buddy. Great guy, Slippin'. But I'm not going to push her.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I listened to that thing you sent me. There is quite a few gaps in it, and yeah, they've been using tablets and things for quite a while because it's, you know, people can't. It's harder to intercept information that they're trying to keep, you know, in-house, that kind of thing. When the helicopter says we have 2 on board, that, again, normally means, you know, the pilot and the co-pilot. Like, if they have to report how many people are on the plane or the helicopter, so that if there's an incident, they know what they're going into. So if they had extra people on, or if they had, you know, bodies, they would have to say that. And they wouldn't, I don't think they'd be transporting dead bodies with a helicopter.
No, I'm sorry. That was a misspeech on my part. But yeah. I mean, he talked to her literally a few minutes before, and he said, I'm landing in a field west, a farmer's field west of Milford. And then he comes back on and he said, okay, we're leaving now with 2 on board for Elmsdale.
Yeah.
He's going specifically to Elmsdale, in which Elmsdale, I believe, is the hospital. Closest hospital, but let me just check that. Okay, continue.
Oh, okay, that would be the hospital in Truro then? Maybe that's the name of the hospital in Truro.
Elmsdale Hospital is south. It's close to Enfield.
Really?
This is where they had, you remember where they had the Sobeys?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's another thing. It's interesting that
East Haunts.
The whole COVID thing jumped in here when the cops got trapped in the hospital and they wouldn't let them out.
Yes.
There's a couple other points when you're ready.
Please, fire away, sir.
Okay, so there's that one point, I think it's at the 46-minute mark of that video, where the helicopter is saying, we are over top of two burning vehicles. One is a police car, the other appears as it could be. Roughly that's what he said. And they just, oh yeah, no problem, we need you to go to Milford. We don't need you at Shuby with the helicopter, we need you at Milford. So at that point, the vehicles were on fire. They already knew there was nobody to save. So they were redirecting that helicopter to a different direction. At the same time, roughly around there, is where the ambulance number 122 comes in and is talking with the dispatcher, the RCMP dispatcher, and they're also on the line with the EMS station. And the EMS station is the one that says, you know, we have one member here who has been shot in the foot.
Let me hear that. Where's this?
It's around the 47, 48-minute mark.
Shot in the foot.
Shot in the foot. Now, what the hell? I thought the only injuries we've seen on Morrison are arm injuries, which it has been pointed out, those could be burns, but they could be flying glass, they could be bullet wounds. You know, and then also too, so shot in the foot. So which cop was shot in the foot?
Okay, let me, sorry, can I?
It was on CBC and Global when they show him coming home. He's not limping.
Okay, let me pause you right there, and I'm just going to play it through if you don't mind, because I never picked up on anything shot in the foot.
So
Yep.
5 with his signs on, no one's outside. Just outside? Correct. 10-4. Vehicle out there. Copy that. Have a look at your tablet. See the car number is the same. 4, it matches.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, copy that. He's the member there. He's been shot in the foot.
Okay. Okay. Ah. Oh, okay. I didn't pick. You know what? That's interesting, because you know what I picked up on that? Because I have listened to it. What I picked up on was, I thought they were saying Wortman and Wortman's car because of the number, and double check the number on your tablet. And
Yeah.
okay. So there was a. Okay, so this is getting really fucky now. Now we have an officer who was shot in the foot.
Yep.
How is somebody shot in the foot? Is this going to be the same person that is left their car and has unlocked and also has dropped their gun in the woods?
Right, and I think it was G Bisco or Ozzy. Everyone in the chat. I could go back and look, but one of them commented that, "Oh, did this cop shoot themselves in the foot?" Well, okay, so we know that we've had other police officers hiding in the woods because they're scared. We know that the corporal in charge at the highway entrance to Portage Peak Road was reported by other officers as she ran into the woods scared and hid while this whole shooting thing was going on when they first reported, when they first responded that night. So we know we've had that. So now we've got an officer shot in the foot. And then the same station gets back to RCMP dispatch and says, the car has been unlocked and he left his gun in the woods. So, again, is this another situation just like the fire hall, that it's willy-nilly, oh my God, there's another cop, I'd better shoot or I'd better run or what the fuck? And jumps out of his car, shoots himself in the foot, runs into the woods, smacks himself in the face, because we've got this bush face.
He doesn't.
Remark.
I had video. Jesus, I have so much stuff on my computer. I don't know where half of my things are anymore. But I did see video of Morrison's parade return to home. I never saw him limping.
No.
He had injuries on the arms.
Yes.
A cast on one arm, and this bush face business.
Right.
So who's the person who's shot in the foot? A member who's dropping potentially the same member who's dropping the gun, because those are two separate calls, or two separate EMS calls, not calls as in like it, but just in the two separate references. So I don't know if it's the same one, but I mean, who's the member? Do we have a member anywhere in the public or knowledge of any member who's been shot in the foot?
There hasn't been boo that I've found. Not even, not a mention of it. Morrison's the only member that was injured that we know of in any way. Heidi Stevenson was killed. Ozzy Cat is commenting Code 1 is bad. Yes, Code 1 is full lights and sirens in an ambulance on our way to the nearest aid center. Because it does comment in there a couple times about Code 1. We're rolling Code 1 and that kind of thing. And that is, full lights and sirens go. But again, here we have other things to add to this, more questions, more for them to cover up, more reasons for the whatever his name was, the first spokesman to be, deer in the headlights, scared shitless at the news conference. I mean, I'd like to know exactly where this station is, this EMS station. And we still haven't heard anything more any kind of details about the whole fire hall incident.
Oh,
You know, I mean, it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up, but there's no answers.
well, the
Okay,
RCMP stuff, or sorry, Onslow Fire Hall stuff. I you know, probably Steve is sitting over there pissed off with me because I've been sitting on this interview for a while. I haven't finished clipping it and doing it yet.
yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
but you know, we did the interview with somebody over there, and yeah, no, it absolutely is a total fuck up.
and the other thing that I found interesting, I believe it was around either the 50 or 51 minute mark. It was after they announced on that video that you sent me today that the suspect has been taken down at the Enfield truck stop.
Yep.
And then after that, the helicopter says, "Yeah, we're actually landed at the weigh scales." And then it's intelligible what they say, but what they're alluding to is whoever they have to drop off, it's a fuck up.
Okay, sorry, repeat that.
Okay, so I think it's 50 minutes or 51 minutes, somewhere in that video you sent me today.
Okay.
And they tell the helicopter that the suspect has been, taken down at the Enfield truck stop.
Okay, let's listen.
And
I haven't got that far because I just, frankly, when I heard the business about the gun in the woods and you know, I'd seen it around, you know, and again, you know, it's hard because you got to discern between what is shit and disinformation, and they're going to pump out crap so that people get, you know, stirred up and mixed up, and then they can just say, oh, those people are total lunatics. Anyway, okay, let's listen.
Start at 50 minutes.
Right now,
Okay, let's start at 50.
Medic 110, I'll get you allow for an incoming call, Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East, code 1. 110, you're going to be heading code 1, heading to Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East. Could you have a look at your tablet there for details?
Oh, she just said where in the woods.
Sorry? Okay. I didn't hear that.
She just said where in the woods. That intelligible chatter, and then a female voice says where in the woods, and then it's blank for a bit.
Okay, let's listen again. And they're clipping stuff out of here. I think, frankly, this was released by the RCMP, just by the look of the channel. But
110, I'll get you allow for an incoming call, Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East, code 1. 110, you're going to be heading code 1, heading to Highway 224 in Shubenacadie East. Could you have a look at your tablet there for details?
Yeah, totally intelligible.
Yes. Thank you.
Radio, 404.
That's real quick, go ahead.
Kentucky Airborne again, Milford area, 2 on board, southbound towards Elmsdale. We have 2 hours away at fuel, we'll talk 10:30.
Copy, thank you, shoot ready, clear.
Thanks, 404.
I'm currently treating a member in the back of an ambulance. So I can go after the hospital. Thank you.
12.
Go ahead, 112.
As of right now, they permanently locked us in the hospital. Can you get your supervisor to call the security at the hospital and let us out?
10-4, stand by, guys.
Copy. RCMP commands to call 40, copy.
what? That's the helicopter, right? Code 4? Or sorry.
Go ahead, 122.
Who? What is code 4, or what did he say? Code 4? Does anybody know what code 4 is?
That means it's not an emergency anymore. You're still rolling, but it's not an emergency.
Because he specifically, or she specifically, refers to the RCMP command.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you be on tap for a second? Sure thing.
On tap.
We were just about to transport the officer, but his vehicle is currently here unlocked, and he has left a gun in the woods. I'm curious if you can get a hold of anyone to come manage that. 122, stand by, please. 2. Go ahead, 122. Here's code 1 to Colchester, patient on board. Copy code 1 to Colchester, patient on board.
Okay, so we got 122 patient on board, and then, but that's different than the person who's in the woods.
Yeah, it is. That's code 1 to Colchester. So that's something to do with north of Truro. Then that's not down by Milford or Shuby. That's up north of Truro, Colford. That's something to do with.
Well, Portapique is Colchester.
And the thing is too, that could be another call that they're doing that day.
Could be.
Right?
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Colchester seems to be a hub of bad stuff that day.
Well, Debert is in Colchester County, correct?
I believe so. People in the chat will know. I'm obviously.
Yeah.
There was Beth is saying there was mention of a foot injury and no name. I never heard that, but I have to go back and re-listen to them all again, because there were 5 press conferences. There was the 19th, the 20th, the 22nd, 24th, 28th, and then we had the 4th. I think actually there's 5 or 6 of them now. So there is a few of them.
Not once have I heard anything other than a reference to Morrison's injuries, and as you know, they blacked out how many times he'd been shot.
Yep.
Like, why do they need to do that? Why do they not let us know how many times the man was injured?
Well,
that's goofy too. That just doesn't make sense. There's no reason to hide that, unless it's again okay. Well, here's the thing. They're trying to make us believe he was shot in the arms because of the bandages. Maybe he was shot in the foot, and they just don't want us to know.
Don't want us to know what?
That he was shot in the foot.
Why in the fuck would they want us to know that he's shot in the foot?
Yeah, well...
Well, he's shot in his car, right, is what they maintain. That he's shot in his car.
Right. Now, you could still get shot in the foot in a shootout in a vehicle. There's no reason to hide that, unless you're running through the woods, dropping your gun, smashing your face into trees, and shooting yourself in the foot. Then they probably don't want the world to know how inept and you know. Well, see,
this is what Don maintained, you know, and I mean, it just seemed at the time, it seemed a bit. Given the facts, it just seemed a bit of a leap for me. But he suggested, I think, something of that nature. That could it be that Morrison had been chasing? But this is the next day, so this is on the 19th, so it's not. But had Morrison been chasing Clint around in the woods, and by accidentally shot himself in the foot? But I was like, well, I mean, I don't know why he would be A, chasing Clint, and B, now that we're hearing this tape, that's on the 19th, this call that they're talking about the shot in the foot business, not on the 18th in Colchester.
Right. And also, too, is the EMS that was talking there about ambulance 102 and then 122. But again, 122 is transporting the officer, and if I understand it correctly, that was somewhere down in Milford because they were trying to send a helicopter there. And then they said, no, we have the member here shot in the foot, and we're transporting 122.
This is closed caption, so it might actually be worth it to see if the AI picks it up a bit better. I'm going to go back to the 50-minute
Yeah,
mark
cool.
and start again.
Yeah.
Medic 110, I'll get you a while for an incoming call, highway 224 in Shubenacadie East, code 1.
Okay, it's not that great. But it might pick up something.
110, you're going to be heading code 1, heading to highway 224 in Shubenacadie East. You can have a look at your tablet there for details. Yes. Thank you.
Radio, 404.
Control point, go ahead.
Check Airborne again, Milford area, 2 on board. Southbound towards Elmsdale. We have 2 hours of land fuel, we'll talk 10:30.
Copy, thank you, shoot really clear.
Nice, 404.
I'm currently treating a member in the back of an ambulance. So I can go to the hospital. Thank you.
12.
Go ahead, 112.
As of right now, they permanently locked us in the hospital. Can you get your supervisor to call the security at the hospital and let them through?
10-4, stand by, guys.
Copy. EMP commands to call 40, copy.
Go ahead, 122. Can you be on tap for a second? Sure thing. We were just about to transport the officer, but his vehicle is currently here unlocked, and he has left a gun in the woods. I'm curious if you can get a hold of anyone to come manage that. 122, stand by, please.
Now, hold on a second here. Did they already say that they're... Sorry, I've listened to this now, and I'm getting muddled. Did they already say that they were... One of them already say they were transporting an officer, and this one is now saying that they're getting ready to transport an officer?
That's right. That's what I picked up from that too.
And they're about to leave, but the other one's already left. We didn't get an ambulance number on them. Did other people pick up on that, or am I just hearing stuff too?
Well, yeah. Also, too, you know what it could be is they could have been transporting. Well, were they transporting Heidi Stevenson's body? But if she was deceased at the scene, that would have to have been left on scene for investigation. They wouldn't be transporting her if she was dead, if they called her at the scene. But they might not have called her at the scene and transported her. It's all, you know, we don't, again, they're not letting us know anything. They're not showing photographs. They're not showing timeline. Like, it's really hard.
Are they referring to both of them as males?
No, they just said officer that I could pick up. We have an officer.
One is definitely male, because the car, he left his gun.
That's great. That would be, we assume, Morrison, but again, was Morrison shot in the foot? An officer got shot in the foot that day and dropped their gun in the woods and left their car unlocked. So, what the hell?
Well, before Grinder, this is Aussie. Aussie's fine. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's continue.
2. Go ahead, 122. Clear code 1 to Colchester, Vision on board. Copy code 1 to Colchester, Vision on board.
Chopper from Ocean Transport.
Why is there somebody in Colchester on the 19th?
Chopper from Ocean Transport.
That's weird.
DNR Chopper, DNR helicopter from RCMP Command Post 2, copy.
What?
Yeah, go ahead for Roger, we have reports of the suspect down at the Enfield Big Stop off of exit 11 on the 102. Direction, please. So we're on the ground at the weigh scales at that exit. Just dropping the member off to the. We got the location. We're gonna head back to Stewie. Thank you very much.
Copy, thank you. Should I get clear?
Rod.
Yeah, they said that they had already landed to drop a member off.
At the truck weigh scale.
Yes.
Why are they dropping a member off at the truck weigh scale? Are they transporting?
I don't know.
Are they transporting RCMP officers?
Well, okay, that's
Maybe
the thing.
that's the two on board.
Every time I've heard the helicopter, they only had 2 on board. They're supposed to give the exact number of how many people they have total, not extra. Oh, so has that changed now? Am I wrong that there's some new thing that's come through that now instead of saying 2 on board, meaning just the pilot and the navigator, now 2 on board means extra? So we're transporting 2? You know, planes and helicopters, especially in these emergency situations, are supposed to give exact numbers of people on board, including the pilot and the navigator, or pilot and co-pilot, however they do that.
Do they constantly have to reaffirm how many people's in the helicopter, though?
Yes, yeah. That's part of Transport Canada, and that's part of
Like throughout their
especially
shift?
emergency things when you're dealing with transporting people that are hurt, etc. In case the helicopter goes down for whatever reason, they have to know how to respond and with what, etc.
Okay,
That's
well,
what to look for.
what I didn't get this doctor stuff. See, I've got to listen to it again and see.
Yeah, it sounds like they picked up a doctor that was on station at maybe they have doctors on station at certain EMS locations.
I'm going to re-listen.
Now here's the other thing too. Now, now remember, here in Alberta with STARS, there's usually a doctor on board STARS.
Yes.
Not just right.
Yes.
And it could very well be the same thing there. But again, they would still have to let you know how many people are on board. So are they transporting 2 injured people?
That was my initial impression. I haven't got, I'll be totally frank with you. I haven't gone past that because when I heard the gun in the woods, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So let's re-listen.
Don't land there.
Let's re-listen. Let's all re-listen and see what you guys in the chat also can pick up about this doctor and in the helicopter and the mention of the RCMP.
From RCMP Transport. Chopper from RCMP Transport.
Chopper from RCMP Command.
DNR Chopper, DNR helicopter from RCMP Command Post. Do you copy? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay.
So the RCMP chopper is also on the EMS frequency?
No. The RCMP command post, probably the 5-ton command post that would have been driving around to handle the situation. They're calling the helicopter, the EMS helicopter. That's what that was.
Okay.
RCMP command post 4. Calling chopper, I think that's what they said. But yeah, that was the RCMP command post calling the chopper.
Okay, all right, moving along.
Roger, we have reports of the suspect down at the Enfield Big Stop off of exit 11 on the 102. Direction, please. So we're on the ground at the weigh scales at that exit, just dropping the member off to the, we got the location. We're gonna head back to Stewie.
Okay, so they're dropping the member off. So the helicopter that the first of all the mention of the helicopter, to the best of my knowledge, unless the RCMP helicopters suddenly come in here, because I think we're only dealing with one EHS or whatever STARS type thing, the medvac helicopter. It's landed in the farmer's field west of Milford. It then took off. It referred to having two, what did they call it? Two on board. And now it's dropping a member off in Enfield at the truck stop, or at the truck weigh scale. So who the hell are they dropping off?
Well, it said they were dropping a member. I thought it said we're dropping a member off to his truck.
No. I didn't hear that. I heard truck at the truck weigh scale. But let's go back again, because I think they were transporting an injured cop.
Yeah, but why would they take him to the weigh scale instead of to a Medi Center? You just shot in the foot. They're taking you to a Medi Center. They're not taking you back to your truck.
No, he's not taking them back to a truck. He's taking them to the truck weigh scale. And I'm wondering if there's like a ambulance there waiting for him or something. Where
that's highly possible.
Mr. Moneypenny, there's definitely a few people in here that live obviously in the area. And so in relation to the weigh scale Enfield area, where is the closest hospital or medical facility? Is there a facility close by? Could it be possible that they're dropping off an injured member? DNR. Okay, so there was this mention of the DNR. What is the DNR? I only know is do not resuscitate. So,
whoops.
Mr. Moneypenny refers to the DNR. What is the DNR has chopper? Shuby Wildlife Park entrance. Is that what the guy's saying?
Shit.
No medical facility, obviously to hide the injury. Oh, it's okay. Shreds. Do not resuscitate. Yeah, that's what I understand, right? Department of Natural Resources.
Well, okay, now they might have been responding because of the fires in the homes. They were
bringing in all kinds of federal shit.
Did any of those fires in the houses spread into the neighboring bush? Because then that would have become their purview.
Well, I think they commandeered probably as many helicopters and stuff like that as possible, right?
Well, that could be too. Yeah, that's right.
And they said that they brought in a whole bunch of different departments. So maybe that's the reference to it. So they're dropping a member. Somebody's dropping the member off at the Enfield. Let's go back again and listen to it. I'm sorry if I'm repetitive, but to try and pick the words is careful.
Hank, Mr. Moneypenny says,
what is this?
Like Road Street View. Okay.
Okay. Let's look at that. 40 Crichton Street. Let's do the Googles. Fucking whatever. What's at 40 Crichton?
That's way down. Well, hang on. 40 Crichton Street is way down in, it looks like either Halifax or Dartmouth.
Huh. They don't seem to like Crichton Road. 40 Crichton Road.
Okay, well, I guess I put it in my search wrong then.
Well, I put in 40 Crichton Road. I get 40 Brighton Road. And that's in PEI, so that's not it.
Yeah, I put in Nova Scotia to make sure.
Crichton Road. Let's try some other search. Let's just see if something else. Maybe it's just not there. I don't know. 40 Crichton Road, Nova Scotia. 43. Oh, it's CRE. Okay, here we go. Sorry. All right, we'll try that again. CRIE. And it's 43. 43 Crichton. It's GHTON. I'm still not getting hit. CRIEGHTON. IEGHTON. I'm not getting a hit on that.
Mr. Moneypenny, are you just making us drive around on Google Earth so you can giggle?
Well, the wildlife park, way the hell up north? Okay. No, there's a... Okay, so he wants...
I got it. It's in Shuba County. It's just, okay.
Okay, so he says...
43 Crichton Road is off of Highway 2, north of the river, and north of the...
Oh, there's a helipad there.
Oh, is that the...
Okay.
Is that the EMS? Is that what he's saying, Mr. Moneypenny?
No, he's saying, I think he's saying where this is where the DNR is, the Department of Natural Resources, and you can see in the background the helicopter.
Yeah.
So that's that helicopter that's being referred to? Okay. All right, well, let's go back to the... So it's taking a member? Why is it taking one member down to... This isn't the page I had open. What the fuck? Where's the page I had open? Why is this all rewound now? Oh, for fuck's sake. 50...
Down at the Enfield Big Stop off of exit 11 on 102. Direction please. So we're on the ground at the weight scales at that exit, just dropping the member off to the, we got the location. I'm gonna head back to Shuby. Copy, thank you very much.
Copy, thank you. Should I get that?
Rod. This is Trigger. Got it, thank you. Dispatch to Schleicher. Go ahead. I'm just doing a radio check. I'm going to turn off communications. Am I coming through? Loud and clear, sir. Thank you. Dispatch, Trigger. Trigger. It's certainly static at my end. I believe it's an issue with my camera.
So just to step in here, Shredder says any record of vehicle, truck circumstances at the weigh station at the given time cameras. You can't count on those cameras apparently because the RCMP say that's off by 52 minutes. That's their own weigh scale, but they say that the time is wrong because they tell you that's at 11:23, and when the timestamp on it says 10:31. So I mean, I don't know what the fuck you can believe about any of that. I think it's the right time, frankly, but.
Well, I do too.
Roger, we have master time for all right, so I think you should. That's what I'll check with an engineer whenever we we'll know what's going on. So that's
Wow, worse than me.
yes, that's copy. We're fired. Yeah, no, exactly. You can get off. Tom, for now.
Go ahead.
We're clear and available, and away from Colchester.
Copy that. Head for base.
I'd like to see you then. copy for engine 621.
I can't understand.
Valley, go ahead. 2 engine 621 responding. Valley, this is here. Go ahead, get a call. Unit 622 responding. 622 responding.
How the fuck can they understand anything? I can't.
Dispatch 3 engine.
Yeah,
go ahead.
like it's
That's 3 engines back.
not coming through very clearly at all.
That puts your engine back here.
Watch 8, copy 122.
Okay, 122. That was the one with the officer, right?
122 was transporting the officer with the foot injury. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 122 is back again.
Watch 8, connect you on TAC.
Oh, fuck.
Wait a minute, cancel call, please. Good night. 6 a.m. Jogging fire coming up. Good night. Thank you.
Testing. Copy arrival, guys.
Should be 101 copy Valley dispatch. Go ahead, Valley. Yes, received a call from our team. They're looking for your assistance. Intersection of Highway 224 and the 102 there. They're saying that the fire there is spreading due to the wind and they can't contain it. They said it's safe for you to go in.
Okay, so now the Shube is.
Copy that. If you're 111, responding momentarily.
They said the 224 and 102, didn't he?
Yeah.
Not the 224 and 2.
Well, remember that fuck up there a bit ago where they were trying to tell us that the one on-ramp off the 102 or something about that? Remember they were trying to give us the wrong off-ramp and we looked it up and it was completely goofy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Milford. Yeah.
Yeah. Wortman would have had to been driving the wrong way, twice, doing big loops. Yeah, no.
I don't know. I don't think the 224 and 102. They don't cross. I don't think. Well, yes, they do actually. Way down south.
Yeah.
224 down south of Gina Goulet's place does.
Yeah, nowhere near where they're telling us that. And no, it doesn't match up.
Miz is a cup and string. I'm wondering if some of this is gravelled intentionally.
Well, it's hard to say because even at the best of times, the radio can go wonky on you.
Yeah, but they can understand each other, for fuck's sake.
Usually, and if they can't, they'll ask for they'll say again or please repeat or whatever their term that they're using nowadays is.
All right, let's continue. I don't know. Maybe Ozzy, if you can speak up, if there's any other things in here that you think are important.
1150. Should be 101 from Valley dispatch.
On status, please. 102. You guys are good to head towards Shore, please. Thanks.
Should be 101 from Valley dispatch. Go ahead, Howard. Yeah, would you like a page as well for that? We'll be on scene momentarily. Let us decide out. Thanks. Valley dispatch, River 6 25, you can show on scene. Go ahead, 603.
Sounds like he said, I'm going to go.
621, ship 621 on scene. Thanks. Or you can show 111 and 121 responding. Just forward. Have it. 1153.
Said 110.
601, touch 603. Yeah, good. I would say negative on the other tanker. Got it.
The other tanker?
Okay.
Oh, the
I think
fire
they've
truck.
added a bunch of stuff this year, so listen to stuff.
It's a fire truck.
Tanker.
It's fire truck.
That's one thing, sir. 10-4, switch. Joey, pass, please.
Copy. 101. We will not require a page.
We will not require what?
Copy that 101. 111, just see what they want there. Sal, you want to give us a channel? Copy. Go ahead with ops 3-1. Ops 3-1. Copy 3-1.
You portable free off, and you still having the issue of dispatch?
No, one time. Sorry, I know you got a lot going on, but before we wander too far,
Taking my mask off, did that help at all? Like it's
for issue in this location. Copy that. Do you still require a check from the truck as well? Thanks for the access. Keeping on thing.
You could just give me a 5 count, please.
I'll see. 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, station. That's right. That's your dispatcher. Station 3 copy. Just hang on a second. There's one before you start the line that I never went to it. Stand by. Here, go ahead. Let's go, Jogger Truck 2 on scene. Valley Dispatch, copy River 601 off street. Here, go ahead. Hey, Valley, you like DNR this, we're in the woods.
DNR in the woods, something.
Judy's in there. We should be able to do it.
I heard DNR in the woods.
For DC, I was doing a radio check. You just
Radio check for me. I've confirmed one thing. Can you go stand by and give me a 5 minutes?
What the?
10-4. 1, 2. Oh, we'll come in for 2. Oh, no, 3, 4, 5. My bad.
What?
Edward, if you do, thank you very much.
110.
Yeah.
Hey, change of plans there. Post your own, please.
No worries.
Thanks.
Great. Yeah, how far are we up there? If we had another couple back hangs up here, we can get this. Come on. Let's bring up line for a minute, please. You can go ahead. 111, copy. Go ahead. What's your pressure? PSI, 70 PSI. Your charge on again.
I can't. I don't know about you guys, but I can't understand a fucking word of this.
No.
It's-
What minute are you at on that right there?
103:21.
Okay.
I can't understand a word that these people are saying. You got that seemed like the dispatch lady seemed to come back in for a moment, and it seemed to be, cipherable. It made sense. And then it goes into this other crap, people testing radios and doing retarded stuff, counting. It's like somebody is just, and there's people talking over one another, like, which is not the way at all in EMS. They have a dispatcher, like we heard at the beginning. This seems to be like a whole bunch of people, or they've just mixed things together. So you can't understand any of it, because I don't know about anybody in the chat, but I can't understand a fucking word they're saying.
No, I've lost intelligibility with this too. Was going to go back and listen to some of the stuff earlier, but I think we've covered it. I mean, so we've determined that they're talking about an officer shot in the foot.
Yep.
They're transporting an officer. They're flying around with an EMS helicopter, and it's on the EMS channel, which is not a stretch, because the RCMP command center does have access to those channels, and if they needed to, they would be talking to them. Because remember, at one point the helicopter told the command force center that we're over top of 2 vehicles on fire in Shubenacadie, right? And they said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Go to Milford." Somebody replied to them, "That's not whatever. Go to Milford."
Okay, so I'm gonna, hopefully Ozzy's still around. Maybe she can answer whether there's anything left in 20 minutes remaining worth of any note listening to. Because if it's just more of this inaudible crap, we might as well stay focused with kind of some of the key elements: the gun lost in the woods, the car abandoned, an officer shot in the woods, potentially something about the 2 members. I don't know if that means, or two people in the helicopter, and trying to understand whether we actually are dealing with 2 ambulances with 2 separate members too.
Well, it's hard to tell because they're talking about the 102 and 122, right? So I believe those are ambulance numbers. 122 is determined must be because they're talking about transporting a member.
So is there 2, because my memory is kind of a bit joggled now, is there 2 different ambulances referred to that are transporting members?
Well, definitely they're dispatching 2 different ambulances, but we don't know if they're just, because this is dispatch, right? This is, so they've got other calls, as well. We don't know, but as far as we can tell from what we've listened to so far, 122 is the one dealing with the injured member.
Well, there's one ambulance that says that it's left with the member. Is that the same ambulance who is then saying we're about to leave later on? We're about to leave with the member, but we're with the car, and he's lost the gun in the woods.
At one point, it wasn't the ambulance talking to dispatch. It was the ambulance station saying that we have the injured member here. I'm trying to find that. I was going to go back and listen again at the 45-minute mark and try and find where I found them talking about being overhead.
We seem to have lost Ozzy.
Oh, did you lose me?
No, Ozzy doesn't seem to be in the chat.
Ozzy? Ah. Okay.
What are your guys' thoughts in the chat here? What you guys are hearing? Did you guys have any kind of conclusions that you come up with, or some thoughts about, I don't know, anything? Oh, you are there. Okay. So is there anything left in the remaining 20 minutes of the broadcast, or is it more of this jibber jabber, which really honestly to me seems like intentional jibber jabber? Like they've mixed everything in together so you can't understand a fucking word now. Because I mean, that's just not the way a dispatched radio service would work. You've got 5 people talking over each other. They're counting, singing songs. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, when they're talking about tablets, they're talking to EMS, not to RCMP.
Well, this is the EMS channel.
Yeah.
Or one
Yeah.
of. They clearly are
Yeah.
using other ones because they send other people off into other channels.
Yeah, which is normal when you're dealing with a major incident. They put that on one channel, and then other calls get directed to other things. Yeah, I don't know where to go from here on this anymore. Like, you know, if I have more detail or not. I kind of covered what I can help with.
It might be worthwhile transcribing, you know, that 4-minute mark word for word and seeing if we can figure out, you know, as a project, meaning in the Discord, as a project to transcribe, say, that 4 minutes of around the 48-minute to 52-minute mark, and then we can understand, because there's a lot of chitter chatter and numbers going around and stuff like that. Is that person leaving actually with an ambulance? Is it a separate person? Is that 122 versus 110? Who's got a member? Who doesn't have a member? Okay, fin track. Is it an officer shooting his own foot, or was he shot in the foot?
Well, we'd have to ask the RCMP about that, but I don't think they're going to tell us. You know, I mean, at this point now, we're what, 9-10 weeks, and you know the main perp is dead. So why are they holding so much back? Why haven't we heard from
Night Smoke?
Why haven't we heard anything about the officers that were shooting at the fire hall? Right there, that one right there. They broke so many freaking rules. I mean, why have they not been reprimanded? Why are we not hearing who they are? What's the investigation doing about that?
Well, there's a couple. There's a couple of bombshells. Are you off too, Tracy? Good night, Smoke. Thanks for joining us. And points telling you you've got great eyes. Kage. There's a couple of real bombshells in that interview that we did, and so I'm not gonna spoil it by saying a couple of things that I know about the Onslow Fire Hall that I learned that from that interview. Plus, yeah, I'm not going to say anything about it. So I'll get it done here soon. But the fire hall thing is a fucking joke, and the RCMP like really messed up. Okay. Well, Ozzy says there is something about. I think they're just telling people that go home, like nothing to see. Go home. Let's go. Let's hear that passage. Let's see if it's actually even understandable. Seems like we're fucking moved to Somalia or something.
Can you repeat that over? What do you have available for vehicles? Remember to be providing the 2 small ones. We have 2 small ones here. Copy that. Thank you. 602-101. Stand by at the station whenever you need us. Yeah. 101-100, copy. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll discuss the studio. Come back. Is that okay? Yeah, that may not happen. We're just on standby right now. Okay, just go ahead and make a plan.
Thank you. Medical 108. They're clear there, churro coverage. Thank you.
Engine 5, please.
1204, Felix, into copy 1, establishing Felix command.
10-4, I'll have you moved to off 2, please. Off 2.
Me too. Hey there, we are clear of Colchester. We're just headed over to Truro Base to stock up. Sure thing.
Stock up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rally dispatch cars required. Cars for units on scene. On scene.
Medic 224.
What?
Can I head you up to Churro, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
98, gonna get you to head towards Churro. I'm gonna mark you out of service there as well. Head to the base.
Are you taking drop control?
Yeah, you guys are cleared up. Thank you. Go ahead, 114.
Clear, Colchester.
River 112, truck 3. Where are you guys situated? At the river, Pastor. Where, at the fire hall?
110, I'm gonna get you to head towards the base there in Churro, and I marked you out of service there. I'm gonna have a debriefing.
Yeah, we're already here, and we're not getting any CAD data. Can I get all the targets for mid number 136?
Stand by, please. The 8 copy call? Just please. 122, I marked you in service. Head to Churro for debriefing.
Woo.
Thank you. Echo 733. You guys are marked out of service as well there. Churro base for debriefing.
Okay.
No problem. 106.
I didn't hear it. Go home. There's nothing to see, but Ozzy says it's there. So okay. I know there's a lot there to unpack, and it definitely will give us a few days worth of stuff. Is there anything you wanted to add on that at this point, or?
No, I think we've covered the major points and picked out the stuff that's important in this. I think, again, it just adds to the fact that there's so much they're not telling us about this. I believe that the like you were saying earlier, the next important thing is the interview that you're editing and getting ready. And I think from there, we're going to have a definite insight into things that maybe we not so much missed, but there's so many new things we keep finding that going back and coming at it again with new information, I think is going to be helpful.
Yeah.
And again, the new information now to add to the timeline is who got shot in the foot, where, when, why aren't we hearing about it?
Yep. And if there's two people involved here, Moneypenny says there's only one person who got the ambulance ride. So, and I thought, I guess he drove to the EHS station, right, which was right beside him if he was down there. I I don't know. It's all rather sketchy, but there is other things here that definitely we can bring up. The warrants. The original judge, and I've kind of touched on this before, but the original judge was Justice Al Bagan, and he was the one who demanded that the warrants get released immediately, and the RCMP lawyers and the Nova Scotia Crown Prosecutor's Office were fighting tooth and nail and said, oh, no, coming up with all these fucking excuses. That's where all of them, they're just excuses out of any hole. Like, we can't tell you anything because of family members, ongoing investigation. You know, some of these are absolutely ridiculous. But Al Bagan at the beginning of this said, listen, because there is no COVID problem, the COVID problem, all the court dockets are all free. So I want those warrants immediately, basically. And we have the removal, which nobody reported on, of Al Bagan, and the transfer to I think her name is Halfpenny McQuarrie, Justice Halfpenny McQuarrie, who seems to be much more favorable to the RCMP. And so I don't understand. I'm not that intimately familiar with warrant disclosure law. Did it progress to a different judge? But it seemed to me like Al Bagan was the one in charge of it, and then we have the removal, and he wants the warrants, and he wants them unredacted, and he's like, this is the most serious case in Canada history. You better deal with this immediately. And oh no, he's gone. He's in the wind. Why?
Yeah, no, that's sketchy as hell. This is the first time I'm hearing about this, but that he got removed. But I do remember last time, or the one time that you and I talked, right when you found all that stuff, and we were commenting on how much redaction there was, and no need for it.
No.
There's no need for the redaction. Nobody's up on charges unless there's a whole bunch of RCMP officers that need to be up on charges, which it sounds like there is.
Yes, I agree. And equally, in the same breath, the argument that the RCMP / Nova Scotia Crown Prosecutor Office is putting forward now as to why they can't release information on the warrants is because even though they say specifically this is not anything to do, these warrants weren't obtained using confidential informant sources, we can't release the information, we can't remove these redactions for fear of outing the confidential informants.
Yeah, which one is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's complete lunacy. I can't understand how a judge or lawyers could sit there with either a straight face or not have the air sick bag right beside them, because that's pure lunacy to say, oh, it's not based on confidential informants, but we don't want to remove the redactions because it might out confidential informants.
Again, there's so much going on here. The biggest thing is that, right, just like you and Adrian said right from day one is, not day one, but right from the very, very beginning, like third stream that you did, the RCMP lied and people died. And that's the biggest thing that is being hidden here, is all the complete inadequacies and ineptness, left, right, and center, all over this. Everything that everybody has found leads to that.
I differ with you, sir. I really do, because and that's been my feeling from the beginning, is that this isn't to do with, we're not talking about ineptitude or incompetence. I'm sure that plays a role, and it's an element, obviously. But what we're really talking about here is something far more serious that the RCMP are wanting to hide. And I don't even think it has to do necessarily with some asshead losing his gun in the woods, or even necessarily Morrison. Let's just hypothetically say Morrison shooting Stevenson. I think this is more in the neighborhood of Mr. Big Operation, Wortman undercover, and we really dropped the ball on this, and all of a sudden we've got something really serious on our hands. I think the investigation that they were conducting was fairly serious, and this is why he got all these passes for years. And I think he had, you know, I know that, you know, we've discussed this before, is the issue of RCMP weapons, the issue of the real RCMP car.
That's right.
Not fake, real.
It's not fake. That's not a fake car.
And
No,
their
that is
knowledge,
not a fake car.
their knowledge of all these weapons and everything says to me, you know, if he has all these things, he has a badge, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, from 2 different departments apparently.
Yeah, he has Halifax Regional and he has RCMP and he has the badge from Halifax Regional. So this sounds to me like an integrated officer, as in Heidi Stevenson type thing, where the RCMP are working for both departments.
Well, and again, there is lots and lots of things that go on interdepartmentally in Canada and around the world. But in Canada, there are special offices and many. It's not called Joint Task Force anymore. Originally, it was, but that's what it was. It was RCMP officers and military CSIS and other police forces in Canada would, you know, work on these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that still exists today. They've got all kinds of new titles and names and everything. But yes, these things do go on.
Oh yeah.
Being badged in 2 departments again, it's not a stretch. I you know, look at Interpol. There are Interpol officers that you know, they have their Scotland Yard badge because that's where they're from, but they also have an Interpol badge, and they may also have Texas Ranger if they're working. So, you know, these things happen. And so, again, you're right. What is the real story here? And why are you covering this up? And why did so many people die? And why over and over again? Because they just keep coming up.
Well, because my opinion is that they sacrifice these people in order to protect their secrets. They were sacrificed. Yeah. They were fodder. It didn't matter. And they just got in the way, you know, and this is really, really serious. The RCMP, but this is not a unique case. This is the really sad thing. This has happened, you know, like I'm very, very familiar with the Quebec stuff, and I'll tell you all kinds of things. It's a template that you can put over on the same one. We had the change of judges in the Quebec one. We had the quote the second suspect who then became an important witness, who then disappeared. And you know, through some very inside stuff, I found out a lot of interesting things. For instance, there was a raid the next morning, and 2 people at that residence where the important witness who fell down in the snow beside an AK-47. How convenient.
We can't have those in Canada, can we?
No, well, no, but I mean, he just happens to fall in the snow as he's running away beside an AK-47. Pretty interesting. That's just lying there beside him.
Yeah.
At that residence, that rooming house that he was living at, there was a major raid the next morning. They cut off 4 blocks. The RCMP handled all of that. They came in. We're taking over from Surrey to Quebec and from Quebec City Police. They were the ones that were in charge of it. They did 1 press conference. That was it. Never said a word again. You went then to the 2 people who were arrested, who I have photos of being arrested from the, quote, important witnesses place. It just gets worse from there. You have Mr. Bissonnette, who pleaded innocent the entire length of this business. They tried to drag it out even almost to so that the case would get thrown out. And the judge said, no, quit doing that. And so finally they did, start with the trial. And that morning, literally, he goes into court, a year and a half of saying, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. He goes into court. He says, they say, what's the plea? He says, I'm innocent. They say, okay, that's fine. We'll take a short recess and we'll begin the trial. They come back in the afternoon. I think it was two hours off. He comes back. He says, I plead guilty. There was the lawyer that he had, which was a well-paid and reputed lawyer that he had initially, who just suddenly quit. And to quit in law is very difficult to do. You have to have very, very, very good reasoning for it. And he never said why. In closed chambers, the judge said, okay, that's fine, you're out. And rather than being replaced by two paid or another paid lawyer, the lawyer is replaced by two public defenders. You never saw the family up until the last day. You had a note on the door on the family's house where they said, please don't bother us. We don't want to answer any questions. And the press are like, okay, no problem. When I went to Quebec City, for the trial, there was nobody there. It was fucking unbelievable. Where's all the media? Gone. And then I had a bailiff who was fucking spooky as shit, and he was following me around. He spoke perfect English when nobody apparently spoke English in the fucking courtroom or in the courthouse. They hid where the docket was, so I couldn't even find the courtroom right away. And then I'm talking to one reporter. There was, I think, 4 reporters there total. No family. Nobody from the Islamic community was there. Just nothing. And I talked to one of the press. I didn't get his name. I forgot his name. I'm really bad with names. And I had a very good conversation with him, but in floated this bailiff and just sat there and listened. And then he's like, after about 10 or 15 minutes, he's like, the journalist is like, well, I have to go. We'll keep talking on the way down the elevator. And so I kept talking to him about how the gun charges weren't matching up, the number of bullets, trajectories, blah, blah, blah. And he was agreeing with everything I was saying. And then we get off the elevator. The bailiff comes in the fucking elevator with us. Get off the elevator. I'm talking to this guy. The bailiff's still sitting there. The journalist goes away. The bailiff turns to me and he says, why are you here? Where are you from? Perfect English. Where are you from? So I say, I'm from Western Canada. He says, what the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here. I said, really? This is a public trial. I can be here if I want to. Oh, no, you don't belong here. This is a national security thing. I said, okay, you know what? I'll fucking show you case law. I can be here. Don't fuck with me, man. So he's like, well, you shouldn't be here. Just, I'm just giving you a warning. You shouldn't be here. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? The license plate, I had somebody run a license plate for it. That guy got in all kinds of shit because it was a sealed plate. I mean, the whole thing was spooky and rank, and the RCMP dealt with that one. Came right in, and we had no press conferences, no anything. He pleads guilty. There's no defense. There's no questions. They throw out a bunch of evidence, which the press couldn't even get straight. One guy's reporting one thing, the other guy's reporting another thing. They don't match up. And here we go again. We've got all kinds of these same shenanigans over here. We've got press that are hiding interviews, CTV. We've got garbling from Global. We've got CBC removing portions of Clinton Ellison's interview 1 minute on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got Clinton Ellison coming out being terrified. We have no, this one is really pissing me off. We have nobody who comes forward. Where are all these people? The fucking EMS people, the witnesses. There are the family members even, or people who know what the hell happened.
They're completely quiet. Yeah, and how come McLean's is doing an article saying that this is there's stinks of undercover, and they could be some of these victims. I can't remember the exact wording. I'd have to go back and find the article, but they were kind of alluding to the fact that some of these victims were, it was an undercover cop that was, scared for his life, and he was going after the people that were after him. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, he's an injustice collector. They just invent these terms.
Yeah.
So here's another couple of interesting details. So they won't answer any of the. I am in contact with a couple of family members, and they will not answer anybody's questions. Nobody's questions. They will not give out autopsies, which is against the law, by the way.
That's right. I was just going to say they cannot do that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They can't do that, but they will not give it out.
No.
And of course, all these bodies. Sorry?
Yeah, sorry. I do remember the issue that Concan was having.
Yep.
And it was because they were saying that she wasn't the next of kin, or I'm hoping that is getting sorted out. But even with that, that family of her in-law, whatever, they're not getting anything either, right?
Nope.
Is that correct still?
Yep. Well, I don't know currently, but yes, most definitely. Everybody so that's 3 different sets of two families, and both of them say absolutely no. They don't say anything. In fact, it's this bad. So on top of the threatening of Tara and charging her for her emotional video, which she took down. They then turned around and threatened her because I think it was to do with the fact of the association with yourself, Adrian, Steve, and I, right?
Yeah.
And what we were doing. And then they turned around and threatened her. And she's like, I've taken that video down. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. You know that we can charge you for that. I mean, who does that to a victim?
I'd like to see them do that.
Yeah.
Why don't they come after us? How come they don't come after me?
Exactly. I say bring it.
Yeah.
If you want to come for.
Boys, if you're listening in, you know who I am. You know where I am.
You want to go.
File?
We can
go for it.
Exactly, because what's going to happen is I'm going to in discovery. If it's me or any of us, I'm going to say this is the advice I give all of us. You depose the shit out of people in discovery. You start putting people like Campbell, like Bergerman, like Leather. You start getting all these clowns on there, and you start fucking putting them the feet to the grinder. You say, who is there? Who are the officers on the ground? You get fucking Morrison in there answering questions. And I'm totally entitled to it because that's my defense, and it absolutely relates to it. So if they were to come for a liable case or something like this, yeah, absolutely. If you're saying that I'm saying something that's untrue, I'm allowed to try and prove that it's true, so I can depose anybody I fucking want.
Yep.
So, but in terms of the relations with the families, all of a sudden something changed. And I got a copy, and I didn't ask for it. I got a copy of both people's emails. One person I did ask for it, but the other, actually I didn't ask for either, but one person did send it to me. And they were the emails from the RCMP. And the RCMP, what they did all of a sudden was they said, they phoned up and they were like, We want to keep you in the loop. Their tone totally changed. We want to keep you in the loop, and we want to tell you things. We want to give you a heads up about the press conference for the July 4th or June 4th press conference. And, you'll get a bunch of answers in there, and we'll just try and keep you totally apprised of what's going on here. Then they sent an email after the Plango revelations, and Campbell went and did his interview with the journalist out in Vancouver, who's very favorable to the RCMP. He wrote this little nice touchy-feely piece, and then did this interview with CBC. Now, that was done. I have no idea when it was done, but I'm going to say probably Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe it was done even over the weekend, like a week ago. And they sent an email. Now, the email looks very personable, like, "Hi, so-and-so, da-da-da-da-da." It's a fucking form letter. It's the exact same thing sent to both of them. Copy, paste.
Man, oh man, oh man.
And then they did it again. Copy, paste.
Yeah.
And what we're going to get out of that interview is seriously nothing. But look at how long it's taken them to air this interview. This interview was supposed to have aired on Thursday, I believe it was. Was it Thursday? No, Wednesday. Wednesday. And it's now Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, and they sent an email yesterday, and they said, "Oh, by the way, it must be because CBC is looking for alternative perspectives on things. So they're probably it's their fault, and you might hear it on Monday." No. In my world, this is a very like I'm like Al Bagan. This is the most important story in Canada. It's the kind of breaking news. We're going to tell you everything. We got the scoop. We got this fucking interview with Campbell. No. Instead, what you got is CBC, which is the wing of the RCMP, the publicity wing of the RCMP, and they're sitting there with their lawyers, and they're fucking cutting, in the cutting room. And they're just sitting there, and they're like, "Oh my God, people like Kage, or people like Steve, or people like Adrian, or people like Seamus, or people like those fucking people over in the Discord or over that fucking Facebooks, they're going to fucking start hammering us because if we say this one word, you got to make sure it's absolutely sealed, tight."
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing with.
I know. But they're still, even with all that said, they're not very good at this. Like, they're just not. I mean, there's so many chinks in the armor that everybody look at just what like you say, the folks in the Discord and the people that have come into this, weeks into it, and people are digging here and looking there and listening to this, and I mean, it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. They can't and won't come after any of us because you're right. They're trying to cover up so much. If they tried anything, they'd have to give it all up. And where does that lead to? Again, you alluded to Quebec. We know there's other situations. We know there's all kinds of things going on. The bottom line is, there's somewhere between 20 and 24 families minimum that have lost loved ones and friends and coworkers, etc. And they're being lied to.
Yeah. In the June 4th one, Leather's sitting there, and he's saying, the reason we didn't activate the emergency alert was because if we do, like we did, what was that, on the 25th or 24th or something, when that, a few days later, for construction sounds, so something that's totally normal, and they knew it was a bunch of bullshit and the heat started to turn on, and the guy with the airsoft gun coming out of a Canadian Tire, which was totally legal, so they said, we better turn on the emergency alert so we can show people that we know how to use this. They actually then They actually then turned that around and used it against people and said on the 4th, by the way, the reason that we don't use that is because when we did, people were scared and they phoned and they didn't know about their kids and they were worried about this and they were worried about that. So it's your fault that we didn't turn it on. That's why we didn't turn it on.
Thanks a lot. And that's complete bullshit too.
Yeah. They like spin. Their fucking PR department in there is unbelievable. Blaming victims and saying, oh, we can't talk about anything because, you know what, we might upset you. Even though every single victim I've heard from or read about is like, what the fuck, man? We want answers. Some of these families literally went down and camped, like went there in a clan to the RCMP office and said, is our loved one dead? Tell us. And the soonest notification I have heard thus far, that's not to say there isn't one that has been sooner or whatever, but the soonest, the fastest notification I heard was 7 hours. And some of them were days. And those people, so it's the entire province that's terrified because they're afraid of their police force. And the country, frankly, doesn't trust these people. And they get up there and they say, you know, oh, trust is important to us and transparency, this and that and the other thing. And it's all just PR bullshit.
Yeah.
Because these people can literally lie to anybody outside of a courtroom. So if they can lie outside of a courtroom, do you know that technically that actually means that they could probably, I'm not sure about that, I could be corrected, lie to Parliament? Not in a courtroom.
Oh, sure.
What the fuck, man? This is a totally rogue entity which has powers out the wazoo. They're not doing like radar guns. They're doing internet scrubbing and doxing on everybody.
I mean, people lose their jobs. People lose their livelihoods. People, lose friends and family members because they go around saying things about people. And what's the recourse for that? Oh, there isn't any. Doesn't matter if it's a mistake,
Yeah, but no. I'm trying to appeal to people who are there, who are like, and do know stuff, right? Because there are a lot of them out there. And I'm trying to get them to go to the next level, to understand that if you don't say something, do it anonymously, do it whatever way, or send the whatever pictures or whatever, but you don't do something, this is sadly, and it's not pointing fingers and I'm blaming people, but it is complicity, just like it is for the police officers who don't speak up. Because that's their sworn duty. Right. They're supposed to report people and misdeeds by the police force, illegalities by the police force. If they know something, they have to report it.
That's right.
But they don't. They don't. Yeah. And yet, and it's just fucking radio silence for by and large. People won't respond. They're like, oh, I don't know anything. And I'm like, how do you not understand that this train is a runaway train? It will only get worse. There is no way that you can rein it in. Because they can lie in front of the fucking public inquiry, right? Because that's not a courtroom, a court of law. That's a public inquiry. And Mark Furry is a fucking ex-RCMP long-term member. That's who he is, and he's the justice minister, and they're even saying it's not a public inquiry. They're going to have some kind of hokey pokey, I don't know what the fuck they want to call it. What did they call it? I don't know. An inspection or some nonsense into
No, it's just hocus pocus. At this point, we have to keep pushing. We have to, because this, again, everyone in the country is being lied to. And this is just one case. We're dealing with this one case.
Yep.
And you've dealt with others before, and et cetera. We're at a time in our history things, and why are they scared? Because they're being told to be scared.
Yep. Trauma.
And at the same token, why are they not looking? Why are they not asking questions? Well, they're being told not to.
Well,
Right.
and the ones that, because that what about all these EMS people? They saw things. They know things.
Yeah.
Where are they? Do they not want a police force that works for them? Because that police force is by every measurable level I have heard from, people are afraid of them. Now, if you're afraid of your police force, do you not want to clean it up? Just like somebody said, or Ozzy said here, no, nobody wants to defund the police because this, friggin' stuff down in the United States.
Oh, that's all.
Which I came across something very interesting last night. I don't even know how I stumbled into it, but maybe I'll get your read on it here. It's something called, what is it called? Reset. Have you heard of this?
Yep.
You have? Okay.
Yep.
Well, for those of you who don't, I'll bring you up to speed. So reset is, let's look at World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Okay, the Great Reset. So let's just watch this little blurb here. Really? A reset? Okay. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Look at that.
Yeah. There is.
Do you know when this video aired?
Huge financial ramifications to do with this COVID and things that are going on in the United States. Like they're showing that Floyd thing, and
do you know when this? Do you know when this aired?
Was that like about a month ago? No, that's a new one, isn't it?
June 3rd. When did the Floyd incident happen? The 25th.
Yeah.
Look at how all these people have the same fucking signs. And George Floyd, do you know how long it takes to produce a commercial? It doesn't take 8 days.
No, it doesn't.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa. That, okay, hang on. Let's talk about... This is in Africa somewhere, isn't it? I can't breathe. Floyd of USA.
Well, it's in French. It's France. I don't know French. Something. But
well, okay, but
UEGAF.
That
What is
UEGAF? That came out 2 weeks before. More than 2 weeks.
Oh no! I hope this is not what I'm thinking is UAGF. Union of Students of France. Okay.
Really? They have these.
Wait a second. Oh no! Oh, dude, I have to get off the air. I have to, because this is exactly what I came back for. Do you see this guy's label on his shirt? UEGAF. Let's look up what UEGAF is. And I knew it. God damn it! They just will not stop.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah.
What in the fuck? This is Hegelian dialectic. it says, oh, you have all of these fucking problems in your world, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell created them? And then they come along with their fucking Antichrist bullshit that they're going to fucking pipe in all of us and say, oh, you know what? We have the solution for you. It's a reset. And we're going to fucking fix all of your world.
They're actually stealing the narrative. They're stealing they're trying to take the steam out of the reset push and all these things. And that's okay. So yeah, we do have to go, and we'll have to talk tomorrow. I'm going to do some looking into some stuff too, and then let's chat tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well, have a look into. You have a look, because I'm going to continue to talk about it a little bit. I'll let you go.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, folks in the chat, keep doing what you're doing. Folks on Discord and everything, keep doing what you're doing. And geez, I wish it was better times, but it's the weekend. Canada Day's coming. There's a big thing going on at
No, Deborah, you
Parliament
missed.
Hill, but there's big things going on at all the legislatures. And if you want your freedom and you want your country back, you need to get out and do something about it. And that's just all there is to it. And it's not just protests; it's actually finding answers, like Seamus is doing here. That's my message.
What in the fuck, man? Come on, people. It is, the writing has been all over the wall for so long, and this is why I came back. Like, this story pulled me off of what I learned and when I was away, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
All right,
brother.
We'll talk.
All right, folks.
Take
We'll
good
chat
care.
later.
Take good care. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Bye. Oh my God. I mean, it's right there for you to see. How deep does this fucking reset bullshit go? Oh, let's have a look. Let's try this. Okay, well, we'll finish out that fucking goddamn. So they knew, it doesn't take 8 days to fucking blurb a video. This is all contrived. Contrived. I can't breathe. Bullshit. We create the problem. You have all this stuff. Everybody's fighting with everybody. It's race wars and immigration. We bring the people here. We fucking make the people. We fund both sides. So we have people who are, we have the Michelle Geller or the Angela Gellers. We have the fucking. You understand? You following what I'm saying? The jihad watches, but then we're piping you full of the fucking goddamn fucking. Careful, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to see a fucking phone number on here. That's the only time I delete stuff. Now I can't even see it. Did somebody delete it? Please delete that phone number. I see it on my everything, the climate change, the banking, all of it. All of it. It's the same fucking clowns that are doing it to you, man. And they're making us fight with the police because you don't want to have law and order. You want total anarchy. You want to rip it all apart. Oh, dude, man, I got this quasi understanding of it, dude. It's not something that I haven't been studying full time for years. And let's finish this video out. Let's finish it out. World versus virus. Join us. We'll Join us. You can destroy your world. Who is the World Economic Forum, man? Come on. Davos, all that bullshit. It's all the same. World Economic Forum wrote that fucking article I've always talked about. The year's 2030. I own nothing, I have nothing, and life could never be better. Read that article, and you don't shit your pants by the end of it. It's saying things like, I let an algorithm think for me because it thinks better than I do. I don't even know how to think for myself. It's crazy. This is crazy talk. This is why the tech, when all this is burned down, the tech, by the really smart people, the ones who think for themselves, they're going to take the tech and they're going to throw it away. They're going to be like, I don't need any of this. You guys manipulate people. You use it. You abuse it with your fucking TV, your media that you own, all of it. You can have it all. I'd rather hang out and appreciate nature and God and my family and piss off. Piss off. Okay? Now, that's not the only video because, oh, well, you know, it's just the World Economic Forum, right? Not that they're anybody important. Let's look at this one. Let's see here. Let's try this one. You know who that is? Right? On the official channel. Oh, actually, this one isn't the official channel. Look at these fucking clowns. They push the shit, man. They push it. What is he? He's a figurehead. He doesn't do anything. Hell, he's off, you know, into his own depravity. Let's not even go into the child stuff and all that other nonsense. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. He was banging around on his wife. He was a bad man. He is a bad man. And then he comes down with the Kovu. Remember? How convenient, right? He gets the Kovu. Watch it. Let's see if we can find his professional done video. Here's another one. See? There he is. Since the pandemic is a chance, you don't think now. But where is the royal family? Here we go. The royal family channel verified. Real channel. No bullshit here, right? I don't like bullshit on my channel. I don't appreciate bullshit. You don't appreciate bullshit. Let's have a look here. Videos, verified, right? Verified? Verified, okay. That's their official channel. Let's go back here and, you know, here they are talking about, you know, a lot of nonsense like plants and charities and things, bunk charities, which are terrible charities, by the way, these foundations and ass bollocks, which have got us into nothing but troubles. They call themselves charities and they're doing all these other things. Charities are businesses, man. I knew a friend of mine whose dad owned a charity, and he's like, oh yeah, my father, it was his father-in-law, and he worked for him. He's like, my father-in-law is going to sell the charity. I'm like, excuse, what? He's going to sell the charity? Oh yeah. You know, it's all the real estate holdings and everything that they built up underneath it, and now he's going to sell it. I'm like, so it was nothing to do with charity. It was just to do with all these land holdings and nonsense, and it was a tax shelter that also pushes tons of agenda garbage, right? But let's just have a look at the, where is this video? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's 3 weeks ago. Where is it here? Oh, no, it's not here. Very interesting. I mean, there is one, but it's not the really professional dumb one. Let's see if it's in my history. People got to wake up because they're going to steamroll over you. They already have been. They've been steamrolling over all of us for so long. And they just take advantage of our innocence, our trusting nature, and our emotional goodness for fellow people. They use that as a weapon against us. Here we go. I don't know why that's weird, eh? I don't want you to find that video. Here it is, though. It's off the verified channel. Okay? Watch the words. I'll stop. Just to help you with it. Okay?
We have an incredible opportunity to create entirely new sustainable industries, investing in nature as the true engine of our economy.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
A chance to reset and accelerate efforts to improve the state of our world.
Wonderful.
Changing our current trajectory will require bold and imaginative action, together with determination and decisive leadership.
Oh, yes, must be my
In order
shitty
to
internet.
secure our future and to prosper, we need to evolve our economic model, putting people and planet at the heart of global value creation.
Oh, yes. It just sounds so beautiful and wonderful and all of this nonsense, you know. Same thing with like all these websites that you look at. They all look the same. They have the same basic template. They have, you know, the black kids down in Africa and they're pumping out water and there's, you know, garbage and there's riots. But they, you know, on these ones, they want to show you the really nice stuff and everybody loves everybody and it's all just super kumbaya nonsense. And, you know, oh, we can do this, we can reimagine. Well, you know, frankly, I don't know, probably about 150 years ago, we didn't have any of your fucking problems. Somebody brought that along. A lot of these problems, they brought them along. You go through the history of these problems, these individual problems that we have in our society. Whether it's hardcore, crazy feminism, you know, I believe that women have stuff, but also, you know, telling women who are moms, oh good, there goes they're working me, you know. If you stay at home, you're terrible. Porn, why America nonsense that they push on us, the transgender issues, the fucking these agendas that they push, the balkanizing of everybody. Just let's split them all up. Let's get them fighting amongst everybody. Hell, let's get them fighting with the police. Let's get everybody on everybody else's case. Nobody likes everybody. They're aggravated. They're upset. And we're going to come along at the end of it and we're going to say, well, you guys fucked up. You didn't know how to do it right. We know how to do it right. We know how to do it. We're chosen. We understand this one. Watch, you'll see. Listen to the words. Listen to the words.
There is one critical lesson we have to learn from this crisis. We need to put nature at the heart of how we operate. We are on the verge of catalytic breakthroughs that will alter our view of what is possible and profitable within the framework of a sustainable future.
What's that word? What's that word there? That one right there? A revolution? Because, look much further than the UN. These are all showpieces, man. They get us down and they're like, throw pies at these people because those are the ones that are taking you down. Meanwhile, they just sit in the background and they're fucking laughing. It has nothing to do with money. Everybody's always like, oh my God, the money, it's all about the money, or it's this, or it's the communism. Who invented the communism? Who invented hell? Who invented capitalism? Capitalism was funding communism. Who funded Nazism? The whole fucking thing, man, is a sham. Your politics are a sham. They get you off. Oh, it's Mr. Soros' fault. Yeah, sure, Mr. Soros, who burned through his money long ago. All you have to do is run his financials. You'll see. He had no money. He was bankrupt long ago if he spent that kind of money. He's spending other people's money. The same people that invented the money. The same people who control all the money. Which is worthless. It's fucking paper. But what it is slavery. Right? Replace God with materialism. Consumerism. Buy. Why do you think Christianity is so vilified? Such a terrible thing. You think it's easy that I'm doing it? Think again. And I know that's a message lots of people don't want to hear. It was a message I didn't want to see, even though I kept seeing it. Because there's the cognitive disconnect. You're like, no, that's not possible. No, I was totally raised. No. Read your fucking Bible, man. Read your history books. Read the history books that they fucking hide from you. The same companies that they own. All the textbook companies, everything, man. Seriously. You want to learn shit? Spend a lot of time over at archive.org. Yeah, because I get paid by them or some sponsorship or something. Right? No, they have lots of interesting material over there. Written by universities, written by academics, things that people don't want to hear. 200 years out, somebody took me off the topic. My caps lock suck? What? Why is my caps lock stuck? I don't understand. I'm missing something. The governments, they built it. It's all the laws. The very profession that my family is from, right? The commandments of men. They got regulations out every which way fucking hole. The COVID? Oh, yes, because the epidemic that you're facing right now. Well, really? I don't know about that one. Oh. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, yeah, that's right. But where do they hide? Where are they? Satanism, you can call them all kinds of different names. Right? They don't want you to see that, though. They create the problems. The Hegelian dialectic. They create the problem, then they say it's the solution. And they've created a world, basically, right now that is a total and utter shithole. Yay. A shithole that we allowed. Because we're trusting and we're loving people by nature and we don't want to hurt anybody. And people will tell us things and we'll believe it. Because we are like that. That's the way good human beings are. Revolution? Really? Who's the Illuminati? Who's the Illuminati? Those that change their names. Look at the sticker on that guy's shirt 8 days prior. Look at that picture of the migrant wave of the, remember CBC did it? CBC, I think it was CBC's camera, or maybe it was Fox's camera, of the supposed migrant wave that was coming up from Central and South America up through Mexico and into the United States. Remember that? You look on one of those trucks, you'll see a very interesting thing. And it's not photoshopped, because you can go to the fucking video and watch it on Fox. Bing. Oh, I have a name for them. Doesn't have anything to do with fruit. Call it what it is. It sure as fucking get me banned. But, you know, like I said, maybe some people aren't ready for that one yet over here. I understand that. Because I'll tell you when it really dawned on me, and I'm talking about really dawned on me, the amount of pain that this world has been run through, the tens and tens, hundreds of millions of people who have been affected, because that was to be everybody, billions. We're all playing this money game, money. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Once upon a time, taking care of your family, being a good neighbor, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Don't have to be Christian. Believe that one. It's just a good moral thing, right? Don't kill, don't cheat, don't steal. Don't lie. Lie. You want to see something like the RCMP? They're allowed to lie? Go look what I'm talking about. Once a year, I can lie. Anything that I said, I can lie about, and anything I'm going to say the next year is going to lie. So any of my promises don't matter nothing. You'll find it. Every year, during a certain ceremony. So we're going to tell you that there's this gigantic crisis and everybody's dying. And I finally found one person, two people I know, one person I don't know well. Boobs. Some of you may be familiar with Boobs, right? Boobs got the COVID. And he's like, I remember I did a live stream with him and slipping. And I was like, what's the COVID like? Like, you know, sounds. And he's like, dude, it's a bad flu. It's really bad flu, but it's nothing terrible. For old people, it's going to fuck them up. And it did, right? But you pay all the hospitals, you get double death certificates like they have over in the UK. You give the hospital bonuses down in the United States, $16,000 per patient that you diagnose with COVID. You have the hospital ships floating around. Everybody's, oh my God, you know, it's going to die. The sky's going to fall down. Then you start to think about the logic of everything, and you're like, no, this doesn't even make sense, man, what you're talking about. Oh. Hello. Oh, maybe that was... I have nice issues with my phone these days. Don't like to work too well. Surprise, surprise. The tech. Who owns the tech? Yeah, it's always victimization. Everybody's a fucking falling apart. And those people all offended me and everything is done wrong. And you know what that does? It breaks up unity. Unity is a big threat numbers are a big threat. Right? What is Mr. Prince Charles? He's a figurehead. He doesn't do anything. He flies around, opens up museums, probably does lots of nasty things that we really don't want to know about, which I'm not going to touch on right now. But he's going to come in and say, I had the COVID, and also I'm a world leader and I can change all these fucking things. No, man, you can't even keep your family together. You can't even keep your Johnson in your pants. You're a foul man. You're not playing on the same team. But you're going to advise the rest of the world? The fuck you, man. That's what I have to say. If you came to the table and your hands were clean, like in law it says, right? You come to court and your hands are clean, well, that's a good thing. If your hands are dirty, well, nobody cares what you say. Let's finish this.
We need nothing short of a paradigm shift, one that inspires action at revolutionary levels and pace.
Revolutionary levels.
We simply cannot waste any more time.
You got to do it right now.
The limit is our willingness to act.
Oh, do you see how it ends? Do you notice something? The crescendo of music, how it's raising in tempo, and you got to act right now. Well, look what happens when it goes silent.
The only limit is our willingness to act. And the time to act is now.
Yum. I understand, and I really do. That what I'm saying goes against so much of what we learn. What I learned, what you get pipe fed in school, movies. But you can't deny the truth. If you keep saying it over and over and over and over and over and over again, then you start to make a connection. And it's a connection that, frankly, really makes one's stomach turn. And when I saw it, it really wrecked me. At least for one night. Very bad. I totally fell apart. I remembered distinctly that moment. And that was why I went away from YouTube. I said, I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not going to be weaponized in their fucking war. I don't disagree with the things that I said because what I said was true. But what was I doing? I was pushing somebody else's agenda. I wasn't even getting paid for it, man. Here I was, I thought, I'm doing the right thing. I'm protecting. I didn't look higher. I'm like, well, why is this immigration thing here? Who's bringing that about? When did that start? Oh, no, it didn't start in the 1960s. It started much, much earlier. Like turn of the century. So they invent the Kovu, right? What does this do? They're very smart. It's all kinds of chess. Everything has a reason. right? The different ramifications of what we do have a reason. What are the fallouts from the different things? What are the different objectives that we're trying to get? Nobody in their right mind is going to sit around and genetically modify mosquitoes or play with genes or buy up food, genetics, or this is all sheer insanity. You're going to plant a garden and you're going to help your neighbor when his house has a leak or they've locked their keys out of their car or whatever. You're not going to stand on a fucking dot. And that's what it showed them. It showed them how far people will go. How far they're brainwashed already. Oh yeah, I'll follow arrows on a floor. How can I get into the slaughterhouse? Please tell me which exit to go. You have to look deep and high. And you have to look for the people that are in the shadows. They don't have names necessarily that you know. Sure, you may know one name. Lots of people know the one name. That's a one player. That's one. There are lots of other ones. They're all related. It's funny how it works that way. They all marry into each other. They all start different things like, the Bischoff family, I think is the Goldschmidt family. They were the ones that started that was the ecology and environmental movement. And you start to say to yourself, why would you start that? You're bankers. That's all that you care about. Oh, they call it philanthropy. That's right. We're trying to save your planet. We're trying to save you. Because you know what? There. You don't know how to save yourself. We're only raised from cradle to grave to believe that we're here to save you. We know best. You don't know anything. That's pretty fucked up, man. There's going to be an Islamic guy that knows shit piles more than me, and there's going to be a Mexican, a fucking black. It doesn't matter. Because you're never the best at anything. And you're never born being the rulers of other people, the deciders of other people's fate. That's just not it, man. We work together to build something. So does what's going on down in the United States, funnily enough, have an impact on what's happening with the RCMP? You're absolutely right. What I'm appealing to is saying, first of all, the concept of law is a good thing. We need law because there are people who want to break law. I think there's many people who have been led astray. Many people who are in positions of bankruptcy and all kinds of other things that turn to a life of crime. There are many people who turn to drugs because their life is absolute crap and they're looking for an escape and they don't know a way out. Issues aren't that easy to resolve, but the concept of law is a good thing because it upholds morals and ethics and general societal compass that we all can kind of agree on. Now, we employ people who are supposed to take care of that. These people also say you must have all kinds of power. You must fucking dig into their crap. You must carry all kinds of guns. You have to have the tanks to go down the streets in like little tiny towns that don't even have fucking 7-Eleven. And the average policeman is a very good man or woman and wants to do the right thing. But they're part of a system that's broken. And the ones at the top, anything and everything in this world, if you want to get to the top, you're going to have to step all over everybody. You have to sell your soul. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what party you belong to. Doesn't matter. You got to sell your soul. You got to play their game. Yeah, the idea, I mean, why, what in God's earth would you want to make movies and things like about people eating people? This is nonsense. You want kids running around having, sex indiscriminately, not understanding what a true relationship is, what love is, what dedication is, what any of this stuff is, right? I don't know why I lose people when I say this stuff. Maybe it's just too late. And it's big, and it's scary, and it's hard, and it's nasty. But frankly, evil is nasty. You can't pretend it's not there, because it is. But if you remain quiet, then you're part of it. If you don't speak up down in Nova Scotia, you're part of it. If you don't speak up amongst your friends and say, that's absolutely bullshit, I'm not having that. I don't want that. I want better. That's why we were put on this earth, is to have children, right? We are essentially, really, at the root of it, we are animals. Animals are built to reproduce. And through reproduction, we make slight mutations and alterations to ourselves and to our bodies and to our minds that improve it for the next society, next generation, and so on. And that curve goes up. And if you follow our curve and you think back in your mind 20, 30 years ago, you don't have to go very far back. You'll see. It just goes down. Then you look further, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and so on. It just goes down. Now, why is that? That's not the way things are supposed to go. Their reset that they tell you about isn't in your best interest. But do you know how many people will follow those arrows and stand on those dots to say, reset, I'm in. I want it. I want it all. Because I can't live like this anymore. This is why the world is the way that it is. Many, many, many of these things are explainable. They're not forgivable necessarily. But people's actions are explainable through the manipulation and the trauma and devastation that we've all been put through, all of us. Everywhere you turn, the internet is like the television and movies on crack. When you understand about the tech, I don't understand that well, but I do understand a fair amount. You can make channels. They've been able to make YouTube channels for years it's not necessarily a real person. Deep fakes, things like Lyrebird software, your phone can do it. Not too hard. And it pipes out messages to all kinds of people, and you have AI doing it. AI, which is very smart, very fast, and exceeds what their programmers put in, because that's what it is. It's artificial intelligence. It thinks for itself. Unity is very important. We have to stick together on this one. Remember, it was a good line. I believe it's a good line still. Maybe it will serve some of you well. Maybe you can tell me to blow it out my ass. My granddad said to me, you need all the people in your corner that you can get. Even some people that you might not agree with. Because the fight is hard. Nova Scotia is important to me because it touched my life in a personal way. But it's demonstrative because I think similarly. What are the ramifications of such actions? If people stand up, if they're united, if they get that fucking voice back, it's no longer a mouse talking, alone in the wind, but a roar, a tiger's roar, and one that said, you know what? You had your go, but you don't play well. And that's that. Anyways, much love, peace, because I do believe in that. I do. I'm not a violent man unless you push me really far. But I believe that we can do it together. And it's really, really uplifting. Because if people are like, oh, you know, that's just depressing, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see that, of course. You know what? All that I would say, of course, my computer isn't doing this. I would say, look here. Look at that. What are we up to now? $116 people. 116 people. Pretty amazing. Pretty fucking amazing. Ozzy comes up with stuff. Mr. Moneypenny comes up with stuff. Kage has got stuff. Steve is in there fighting hard. Adrian, all of you listening and trying. And what was it started on again? One phone call. But it did something to you too. Much love, my brothers and sisters. God bless.